So, good evening, guys. How are you? Welcome back to the class. Hope you have, no, hope you have your lunch or your breakfast or your snacks or something. I want every one of you to be energetic. Good evening. Okay. So, how you all guys doing? All doing well? Enjoying the classes, the learning process? मस्त ना? ठीक है. Cool. Good. Hi, Nilanjan. Vishal. Okay. How about me? Uh, Mine was pretty cool because it was Friday and we didn't have some planned deployment today, so it was good. So at some day, like some of the days, it seems like no, some of the people are not very much energetic, so try to have those kind of enthusiasm inside you so that you can have some good uh, good knowledge, है. My video is stuck. Now it's okay, right? Nilanjan, I hope your internet is not good because in the previous class also you were complaining about the video and audio, right? So I think so. For everyone else, it's good. Okay. So try to join in the network. Okay, it would be great for you. Yeah. Good evening, people. So we'll do one thing. We'll just start our lecture at 8:05. Actually entered. Okay. Okay. So we'll just start at 8:05. Okay. We'll start our lecture at 8:05. Exit. ठीक है ना? We'll wait for till then so that everyone can join because now I don't think so more people have joined. It's just like 30 or 40 people. Okay, we'll wait for another 4 minutes or 5 minutes and then we'll start again. Okay. Yeah, am I audible, guys? Now, Ashwin, the preferred language would be obviously the JavaScript. No? Yeah, it would be JavaScript only. Am I audible now? Okay, cool. Okay. So, how you all guys doing now? Everyone, I hope today is not much attendance today. Not much people. I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine, people. Thanks for asking. Okay, so we'll move forward with our remaining thing that was previously we had no stopped our lecture in this particular point, like right type quotient. We know many things about this. We did experience this as well. Before all of that, can anybody tell me like how many people have already tell me honestly, don't lie, don't please don't lie. How many of you people have gone through what we have covered in the previous lectures, with in terms of the recordings or in terms of practical or anything? Okay, how many of people you have some experience which we have already learned till now? Those who haven't practiced, I would highly prefer, like I would highly recommend to for those guys, please do that. Without doing this, nobody in the world can teach you perfectly, because we have, like, I want your time as well. I'm investing my time, you are also investing your time as well as your money, right? So take some advantage out of it now. Okay, why don't go at home after 11 o'clock? Like 11 is not so late, right? You can still open your notebook or open some videos or open the slides which we have already given through. You can complete your assignments, you can submit that, you can also reinvent something else. You can do many things. Work hard till 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., then wake up at 8 or 9 a.m. That would be fine. Okay, that is what I usually do. So 11 is not so late. So don't think that we are learning till 11, so it's cool, we are already doing many things in the life. No, that's wrong. The only thing that will be matter is after this 3 hours of investment, you have to put your at least 3 or 2 hours of yours. That would be completely depend on you. If you have some doubt, contact to TAs, ask doubt in the lectures, take some participation in the lectures. Who is stopping you? Nobody is stopping you, right, doing anything. There are plenty of resources nowadays, guys. Relay is providing many things that which were not there in our times. It if it's no if it's there in our times, this kind of platform, it would exist in our times, then I cannot imagine myself like at which level I would work at this time. This particular platforms, this kind of knowledge were not there at our times. So if you have that, you have that luxury to do this kind of courses, right? So take utmost advantage from this. You have TA facility here. If you have any, if you're stuck anywhere, you can ask doubt to the people. You have mentors. Okay, you have guest lectures. You can absorb knowledge from everyone here. You can ask, even you can ask doubt in Slack from your teammates also. They can also help you. है ना? They are also helpful. है ना? ठीक है? So please do that if you haven't done till now. Okay, please practice. ठीक है? That's great. You are learning and you're practicing till 1:30. Atesh, that's great. You are using Solo, and there are plenty of websites, right? Right? There's this W3 schools, that is Kicks for Gigs, that is Code Chef also, there's Sololearn as well. There are some basic websites such as you can also prefer like our lectures. Those are like those would be our entire thing. Okay, this is also one of the great platform that which you can utilize. So there are plenty of things that you can do. You just have to have some enthusiasm in you. You have that spark, you have to have that spark. I have missed all the sessions from the 2nd May due to the long hour shifts. Today is my off. or we'll try to cover all the videos. Please do that. At least you have 2 days. That is the main reason why we are doing the morning sessions in the Saturdays and Sundays, so that you will be having entire day. Okay, so please utilize that. Please utilize the weekends. We can do group learnings. Yeah, you can do, Nana. That's one of the great things that you can do. Its lead code is only for algo. Yeah, Subrajit, like I would not prefer at this level you can utilize lead code, because lead code would be much more oriented towards the platforms, like towards solving problems, right? But for now you have to just learn the basics. You have to clear your basics, whatever it's teaching inside the lectures, inside the sessions. You have to complete that no matter what. Okay. Okay, you have to complete that no matter what. Say assignment दिया है क्या क्या अभी तक? Rahul, please check the dashboard. As far as I know, am I audible? Am I audible now? And please refresh your page if you are not able to do that. My college exams were going on. Okay, ठीक है, ठीक है. So let's start without wasting much time. Let's start today's topic that was remaining in the previous session. That is type quotient that we have already looked upon. We'll just see that what we have taught in the previous session. So this term is means that if you have something, you have to convert it into something else. That is something known as quotient. And type quotient, that means this is one kind of data type. It could be anything like numeric string or anything. You have to convert this data type into another data type. Okay, that is known as type quotient. So for an example, if you have to convert your number into string, or if you have to convert your string into number, or if you have to convert your boolean into number, so this would entirely no depend on this type quotient. How we'll do that, we'll just see that. Okay. Okay. uh okay. Now, first of all, we'll learn the number to string, which we have already learned and we have already practiced in the live. Okay. Okay, so if you have something like this where x1 plus string 2, this is a string 2, you will get output as 1 2. Okay na? Am I clear with this, people? You have already seen that, right? 2 string plus 1 would be 2 1, you know. And this one is also there, like false plus hello. This is a boolean data type. This is a string data type. If you mixed all together, it would convert it to string. So that means that if you add any string to any non-string such as number or a boolean or any kind of other objects or other kind of things, other data types, that would convert into the string. It will convert the non-string value to the string automatic. That is something known as string to number to string conversion. Okay, Hariharan, please don't go into that. What is implicit, what is explicit? We are just seeing the conversion, the word conversion. Don't complicate the things. Okay. Okay, typecasting also you can say that. Yes, you can say that. Okay, cool. So this is something known as number to string. The second one would be string to number. In that, in the first thing, you will like accept this plus operator, any other operator which will be utilized in your number, that would be used in this kind of particular string to number conversion. Okay, such as accept this plus. How many operators do you have? Minus, division, multiplication, modulo, which we have already seen, right? I already explained this in detail. You know, so if you have this kind of particular thing that is a number, then this particular any one from this, like minus, I'm taking minus, and string 2. So it will convert the string into the number and it will give you the output as 8. Which this is been taught to you in the very first or second session, if I'm not wrong. Okay na? Okay. Yes. Cool. Okay. Now, what is modulo? Modulo is something that remainder thing. Like if you like if you divide 10 divided by 2, what is the output? It would be 5, right? And what is the remainder? Remainder here would be 0. So modulo will give you the remainder. So if you do 10 modulo 2, it will give you output as 0, because it is a remainder thing. Okay. The second thing that we have to look upon today will be boolean to number. Okay, boolean to number conversion. So in the first thing, suppose in this it's boolean, like okay, it's true plus number. So boolean plus number would be like true would be like see, computer would understand what? Computer would understand what? Which language computer would understand? 0 1, or it is also called as binary. Okay, so this 0 was what? Another term of this 0 is what? False. Correct. Okay, good, great. And 1 would be true. Okay na? Cool. Okay, so this true would be convert into, like, if you do that, true plus 20, that means true, it means what? 1. That means 1 plus 20, it would be 21. Clear? The same case would be in the false case. That means 0 plus 20 would be, answer would be 20. Am I clear? ठीक है ना? This boolean to number conversion. ठीक है ना? This was pretty simple. It was taught to you before. Cool. ठीक है. Now, say this something also taught to you in previous sessions. That is equality operator. That means equality means this double equals to, and second one is triple equals to. ठीक है? Double equals to will check what? Only the value. है ना? If you do this 10 equals to 10, it will be obviously true. But if you do 10 equals to string 10, what will be the output of this? What will be the output of this? True, right? Because it will not check the data type, it will just check the value. है ना? So it's 10, it's also 10, although it's in the string, but it will not hamper much because we are doing double equals to. If you want to make this false, then you have to use this triple equals to. It will check the value as well as the data type. है ना? So if you do this 10 equals to string 10, those who have missed the previous sessions, I would highly recommend to watch that, please. Okay, so it's string, it's sorry, it's number and it's string. Okay, although the value is same, but the data type was different, so it will anyway give you the answer as false. Cool. This is something known as equality operator. Okay. Okay, so this was something was that was no, pending with the previous session that we have completed today. You know? So today I'll give you the problems, many problems to solve with the if else or with the loops as well, if time permits. Okay, that would be fine. We'll solve of the problems along with the no together. Okay, na? We'll solve the problems. I'll give you the problems and we'll solve it together. Before that, let me just tell you how many people know have completed the homework which I have given you in the previous session. I have given three or two problems in the previous session to complete in this session, है ना, as a homework. ठीक है? Cool. ठीक है. Great. Thank you for doing the homework. Cool. ठीक है. So if you have done the homework, you will have like will not have much problem to understand this kind of problems. ठीक है? So let's look at the problems. What kind of problems that we'll look into today? That means first would be the voting age. We'll find the voting age of the person. Okay, second would be the increasing or decreasing order. That means if you have the problem like 10, 20, and 30, you have to find this particular numbers are in increasing or decreasing. It's in increasing, right? So you have to, from the code you have to tell me. I'll change the output as well. If I change the output as 40, 20, and 0, then the string is in the, like the numbers are in the decreasing mode. Okay, so you have to check it from the code. That is why, like like that we have many problems such as this. Okay, there are 6 problems that we'll be solving today. Cool. That would be fine, huh? Okay, I'll give you some time to think and then we'll solve together. Okay. Okay, so this is something which is known as voting age problem. I'll just okay, I'll just do one thing. So this is a problem that you have been given a number, for an instance like 20. You need to find that if that age is coming under the voting age or not. Okay. Okay, so voting age is like greater than 18, anyone can vote, like anyone can vote if their age is greater than 18. Okay, so age can be considered as a voting age, and it if it's greater than 18. For an example here, the input is 25, you have to show the output as true. Cool. ठीक है, easy है ना? ठीक है. So I'll just give you 2 minutes to think upon it. 2 minutes to think upon it. like how will you perform this kind of problem, you know? And let me know once you are done. Now I'll just give you 2 minutes to just think, just the logic, and then I'll ask you the logic. You don't have to tell me the code, as I already told you previously also, I don't want code, I want logic every time. From the entire course, from during the entire course, if I am doing the every lectures or every sessions, I want this logic, not the code, you know. That should be clear with you. So that's your 2 minutes is starting now. It's 8:22. We'll back at 8:24. So how many of you have how many of you people have already got the point, like what is the crux of this, what is the essence of this particular point? Okay, tell me the logic now. Tell me the logic now. How can I get get this particular thing to be done? If I pass 15, then I need to return false. If I pass 30, then I need to return true. Okay. Yeah, if else, that would be great. Okay. 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 So people like every like many of you guys have already got the point what we will do in this particular case, but we'll go step by step. Okay. See, everyone knows that this problem is basic one. This is not a hard one. This is a easy one. Okay. So we'll have to develop a solution in such a way that your code is optimized. Okay. You don't have to focus on the output. See, many I have seen many developers. I have seen many of the leaders, like team leads. Those are just oriented to the output. So, for an example, if I tell them that see guys, you need to develop a page. In this particular page, if I click here, it should perform this. It should call this API. It should perform in this way. The pop-up should be open. This validation should be fired. So these are the list of the tasks that I'll give them. Okay. Then I'll let them to code for a few days. Then I'll check their code. No matter, they will come up with the output. Like if I'll tell you that if I'll pass A, you have to show me the B. They will do that. They will definitely do that. Okay? They will do that. That they will, if I'll pass A, now output would be the B. That is great. But in between of this, how they are doing, that matters a lot. ठीक है. It's just that everyone can earn money, but the way they are earning money, that is more important. You don't have to lie. You don't have to you don't have to be a thief, or you don't have to loot a bank. ठीक है. Looting a bank also, like from looting a bank, so also you can earn money, but that is not a proper way, है ना. Similarly, you can also generate output. As I said, you can also generate some output like this, but the process that you have chosen, that is more important. That is depend on your code quality. Your code quality should be important, है ना. Then second one would be your the standards. You have to follow the industrial standards. I'll also teach them to you, like how can you follow this particular standards, you know. So in our organization or in every case that I work, I try to impart this particular process that if any developer is pushing some code, they have to verify with the leader such as me. Like I'll verify that code, then and then only I will approve the PR. The PR is like a pull request. So if I approve that, then and then only their code would be approved, and that would be, it would be deployed on the live server. Okay. If I reject that due to some reason, they have to work on this again. They have to make their code correct. I'm not concerned with the output at all. I'm not concerned with this. Although I have concerned with the output, but the process should be okay. Like this point should be also be, implemented in your code. Similarly similarly in this particular case, your although your question is easy, but I'm not concerned with the output. I'm concerned with the output, but I'm not only concerned with the output. I want your code to be proper. So I have seen someone have already, told me that, sir, you can do like this, that if your age is less than 18, then return true, else return false. Okay. They did this, but see, here you have passed your age as a static variable, you know. It's hard coded. No, like, don't do that, don't do this, you know. Don't do this. Okay. So now let's come to the solution. Like, from this entire 5 minutes or 6 minutes that I have spoken, what do I actually mean? Okay. So everyone know about the solution of this, you know. So if your age is greater than 18, you have to return true. If your age is not greater, that is else, you have to return false. But you have to embed this function, like embed this process inside the function. You have to use the function. So whenever I'll tell you that, hey, give me the person's eligibility to vote, then you don't have to write this entire four lines again and again and again. Okay? You have to embed them into the function, and then you have to just use the function. So what do I mean by that? Let me share my screen and tell you. Okay, I'll open the Firefox. I'll share my screen, just a second. Okay. So let me know once you can visible, once you can see my screen. Okay. Am I visible now? Okay. Okay. So what was I mean to say? This is our console of Firefox. Okay. So guys, whenever we need to debug something, we'll use Chrome. Otherwise, we'll use Firefox. Is that okay? That would work. ठीक है सर. चले आगे. ठीक है ना? Cool. ठीक है. So what I mean to say was that, see, everyone knows that if I'll pass my age, let's say my age is that age is equals to such as 20. ठीक है ना? If I do like this, like if my age is less than 18, na, then, so I'll do this. Why I did this? I'll just tell you after this code. You know, why I did not use less than here. Why I use greater than here? I'll tell you. Okay. So if my age is greater than 18, you have to write console.log, or else you have to just return. Na, then you just return true. You know? Okay. Otherwise, if you are not greater than 18, that means your age is something between 0 to 18. You know? So you have to return false. Okay. That's what we meant by this function. You know, this will do my job. How many of people you will agree to me that with this function will, like, this code would do my job? It will do my job, right? Let's check that. If I run this, it will showing me some error. What is the error? Return not in the function. Okay. So okay, just a second. I'll just write here console.log true and console.log false. What does this mean? I'll just tell you in a while. Okay, just ignore this for now. If I run this, you can see my answer. It's true, right? Because my age is greater than, like, 20. It is greater than 18. That means if this block would not be executed, this else would be executed. That is why it is printing sorry, it's printing true because it's my age is greater than 18, है ना? I'm so sorry about this. Okay, so else block would not be get executed. So between this if and else, only one block would executed. If my condition is true, then this is executed. Otherwise, this is executed. But both simultaneously, it's not possible to get executed. Okay, am I right till this point? Everyone is with me? Okay, na? Okay. What is this? Shouldn't be that age greater than equals to? Yeah, it's greater than equals to. I'm so sorry about it. Okay, because 18 is also clear. Like 18 is also age to vote. No? Okay. Age should be okay. Cool. Okay. While changing the value of age, let should be removed, right? Okay. Yes. So what I'll do now, Raju, I'm telling you that. Do you know about Raju? You know about this if and else? What is if and else? What do you mean by if and else? Do you know about this, Raju? You don't know about this, right? So I'll highly tell you, like I'll just tell you now, but I'll highly recommend to watch the sessions because I cannot repeat the this entire thing again and again because we have invested around 4 to 5 hours in this particular statement. Okay. So what do you mean by if, Raju? That means that inside of this, I have written that age greater than equals to 18. Okay. So right now my age is 20, so 20 is greater than equals to 18. That is true. That means this block would get executed. If this is false, then this would get executed. That is why it is printing true here. I hope this is fine with you. Okay. Now, what we'll do now? What we will do now? That if I if tomorrow if I'll say like right now my module is suppose I'm working in a multi-module or multi-page website. Okay. So my one component is right now is users, है ना? And my second component is address one, है ना? So if I'll just tell you, like suppose you have something like this, that this is your website, everyone. This is for everyone. Now this is your website. Inside this website, there are multiple buttons, है ना? Okay, ठीक है. So let's say for an example, I'll take the example of Umang website. ठीक है. Umang is, those who don't know, Umang is like government website. है ना? It will have the entire data of yours in like those is government is having with you. है ना? It will have entire data of yours. So Umang is having multiple things such as like LPG subsidies, then your PAN card data, your Aadhaar card data, your M Parivahan documents, everything is having inside this Umang. है ना? So there might be a case where I need the person's eligibility of voting here, 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 here. So suppose you have 20 such modules, you know, and in each of the 20 modules, you are writing this particular 4 lines, this particular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 lines you are repeating in each module. So 20 multiplied by 6 would be 120. So 120 line is just doing the same thing. Don't you find that this is not a proper way to do? This is not a proper way to do, right? Because we cannot write anything 20 times and like 120 times doing the same thing, right? Are you agreeing with me? It's time waste, right? Yeah. Everyone. Yep, but it's not following dry concept. I'm not getting that. Time waste, yes, because you can, because it's not meaning any kind of like it will not make any sense, you know. Your goal is not to write big code, your goal is to write small code. Those code would be having more impact. Your task is to write less code with much impacted form, है ना? ठीक है. Cool. Okay, small and efficient. ठीक है. Yes, correct. Okay, so for that what we will do now, we will bind this particular code inside a function, है ना? Those would be just, it will, the function name would be like check eligibility, huh? Inside of this, I'll write my entire code. Okay, for an instance, this code. would be written here. But you can observe that this age is here, so it needs to be passed inside this particular argument. Now, okay. So now let's check that if your age is like, we'll call this function now. Let's say check eligibility, and inside this we'll pass age. So like right now your age is 20. So this check eligibility function would be called with the value 20. The 20 greater than equals to 18, that means true. Now it will inside, instead of this console.log, it will return true. Instead of this console.log, you can also do console.log here as well, है ना? But I will just follow a process. That is why I'm just returning here, and I'm printing this console. Inside this console.log, I'm calling the function. This function would anyway return this true or false, that would be printed inside this console.log. How many people you are getting with me? Like you are with me. Okay, Nishant, I'll try to be slow. So Nishant, what I meant here was that I hope you are getting the concept why we are writing the function, because we can reuse the function inside this 20 module. So we are just writing this particular 6 lines one time only. We are just writing this function one time only, and inside this entire modules, we will use this function. ना? We will reuse this function. Okay, that is why we are writing a function here. So I have named, like if you have to declare a function, those who have not attended the previous class, for initial classes I'm doing this practice, that I'll just explain that the thoroughly. But from afterwards it would be difficult for me to explain like this, है ना? So if you have not attended, please attend the lectures. Don't miss any of the single lecture, because every classes are connected. Okay, so you will write the keyword function in order to declare a function, space function name. For here, for this case, my function name is anything you can give. Check eligibility. Inside of this particular case, you can pass your argument. So for this case, I'm passing age as my argument. And I'm checking that if my age is greater than equals to 18, as per my logic, I should return for true. Otherwise, I should return false. Okay. And whatever I'm giving, I'll just call my function. Let's say check eligibility with the age that is having value as 20 here, and I'll just print it inside this console.log. That is what I've explained till now. And just track it what it will return. You know. Okay, we have to refresh the page because we have declared it as a let. For now, we'll just do the with the where, so that we don't have to refresh our page every time. Okay, it's returning true as per our logic. But can you see, previously also we were getting the same output, and here also we are getting the same output, है ना? But the process is different. How you have achieved it is different. You can reuse the function. Anyone can reuse the function by just passing the age. Dipanshu, what input you are passing? What if we don't pass argument near the function name? If you don't pass it, it will just take it. Don't worry. If you don't have to pass it, like you can, no, you cannot pass it as well. That's perfectly fine. Glanjan, you have to give. Okay, yeah. Yes, all topics should be covered. Print undefined. What is print undefined? Return is shown error. False to me. Why we can't use let here? You can use let here. Let Naveen. You can use let here. You can also use let here. Let me just refresh the page. But you have to refresh the page every time, because let cannot be redeclared. That is why I used where. है ना? You can also use it with let. Return shown some error. Dipanshu, I think there is some mistake with your code. है ना? I'm just pasting this here. You can just verify. Okay. ठीक है, uncaught index, that means you have not written something properly, that is some syntax error is there, है ना? You can compare with my code. uh who is this? Chandrakant, we have already covered that with the let. Only calling with the function, we don't assign where equals to 20 and calling the function. No, we cannot use it, because after where you have to name the some variables name. only about functions for today. No, we'll cover the problems. We are covering the problems, Likit, with respect to if and else. If we don't declare variable before function and pass the age as an argument, what do you mean by that? If we don't declare variable before function, okay, we'll not do that, and pass as 20 here. That is what you meant, na? Vishal, that is what you mean? Yeah, you can do that. That's perfectly fine. You can also check it. Just refresh the page and you can just check it. That will be no hamper. Like it will give you the same output. If I'll just check it, if I want to check it with the 20, like if I'll just check it with the age 12, it should return false, right? So it will return false here. You can check that. Vishal, you can compare my code. You can compare it your code with my code because I cannot see your code, hai na? So that there is some syntax error in your code. You have to compare it and you have to find it. I'm pasting again with my code in your way. Okay? Okay. Same code I write, then it should return the same output that I am giving, like I am getting. And there's something wrong with your code. Please check it again. Okay. Uh, Aradhya, I think so. I have covered the entire the function thing, entire the function lecture, and I will also cover in the next lecture. But for now, you can understand that whenever you have to declare a function, you have to write a function keyword. You have to give the function name. Inside of this, you have to pass the parameter that you have to pass, and you have to call the function like this. That is what I have covered till now. Now, what fine? Yeah, thanks, Dipanshu. How to give value dynamically? We'll see that, Tapasvi. Okay. Cool. So that is why I always no tell the people that don't miss any of the lecture. You know, do not miss the sessions. Semicolon is not needed, Joseph. It's not needed. If I just do this, then also my code would work. Okay. If we don't write where and define age, it will be by default where, right? Yes. Okay. Okay. So that was all about our first problem. Cool. Okay. Okay, so like it is saying the some big question. If we use parameter inside a function, then we have to pass the argument. If yeah, yes. Okay, na? That was our first question. You can also check this code at this link, this particular link. You can go through that. Okay, whenever you get this PDF. So the second question that is here is increasing or decreasing order. Okay, that I already explained you that if you have some output like this, that 12, 45, and 87, this is in the increasing order. It should give the output as increasing order. If I have the my input as 0 and 80, 0 and -2, then I should get the output as decreasing order. Or else let's just be that 80, 10, and 2. It's then also it will give me output as a decreasing order. You have to make this code, and I'll just give you 5 minutes for this. I'll give you 5 minutes for you exactly. Everyone have understood the question? Yeah, you can use anything you want, Dipanshu. Every one of you understood the question? Okay, question is clear with everyone. Pratish, you can also read it from here, na? That you have been given this particular three numbers, and you have to find that it's in increasing or decreasing order. That's as simple as that. Should we write in decreasing order? You can write anything. I just want to know that it's increasing or decreasing order. That's all. In code, no. In the logic, I don't. I want the logic. I just want the logic. People don't come up with the operators, dictionary operators. You can use anything you want. I want just logic now. I don't want to write a code. That's clear. Okay, everyone. Okay, na? So it's like 1846 now. I'll give you the 5 minutes. So it's 1851. We'll be back at 1851, and just tell me the logic. Till then, just no think about it. How we can achieve this using the if and else or anything you want. You can use anything you want. You know. I don't want the code, please don't post the code, है ना? I just want the logic. I'll ask you at 1851. ठीक है? Okay. Okay. So, are you guys clear with this? Are you guys done with this? Have anyone got the solution? Am I audible? Okay. Now tell me the logic. What should I do in order to achieve this? You can use anything. You can use anything, Hariharan, as I already told. You know, you can use anything you want. I don't want. Okay, so using nested if else or switch. Yeah, but what should be the logic? Okay, what should be the logic? Number one is greater than number two. Number two is greater than number three. It is considered as decreasing order. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, so this is something which is no having some sense, है ना? So the approach would be that you have three numbers A, B, C. Suppose for an instance you have the numbers such as 10, 20, and 30. So imagine that this is a, this is a B, this is a C. Okay? You have to find the largest number. Sorry, the order, है ना? The order in which this they are placed. So if you find the output as 10 is greater than 20 and 20 is greater than 30, then this will be in what? In which order? Increasing, right? You know. So what I compared here, what I said in English here. This is greater than this. That means A is greater than B. I use the term if. If this is greater than this, then so if I'll use if, then I'll write if here also. So if my A is greater than B, then I'll again check if my B is greater than C or not. If B is greater than C or not. If these both are true, then my answer is definitely B, increasing order. Correct or not? Correct है? ठीक है? Similarly, if I have the input as 30, 12, and 5, so what I'll do now? So if I take this input, then I'll check this my code that A is greater than B or not, 30 is greater than 12 or not. Correct. It's correct. है ना? Correct. Then I'll again check if my B is greater than 5 or not. There's something wrong here. Is something is wrong here? है ना? Everyone is sleeping. Everyone is sleeping. Yes, I told the opposite intentfully. ठीक है? Now wake up and tell me again. है ना? If I have this A as 10, B as 20, C as 30. Everyone was literally sleeping because I told this multiple time and everyone was giving me the answer that they are this is correct, this is correct. So this is not correct. है ना? We have to check what? What will I will check now? What I'll check now? If my A is greater than B, then like if my A is greater than B and if my B is greater than C, तो ये इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में है. लेट्स चेक इट. 10 20 से ज्यादा है नहीं है. दिस इज रॉन्ग. तो ये इसमें जाएगा ही नहीं. इट विल नॉट गो इन दिस. So anyway, in the else part, it will give the answer as decreasing. So if this is wrong, then my answer would be anyway decreasing. If I'll take this input as 30, 5 and 0, है ना? So let's check my code now. If my A is greater than B or not, 30 is greater than 5 or not, correct. ठीक है. If my B is greater than C or not, like 5 is greater than 0 or not, it's again correct. So it will give my answer as increasing. ठीक है. अभी प्रॉपर है ना? सो जाग जाओ. ठीक है ना? ठीक है. Okay. So let's put this in the action now. So let's see in the action now. Okay. So we'll check the, yeah, I explained opposite. And still you guys have no answered me. So yeah, this is correct. This is correct. You didn't spot the mistake. You know? Okay. So what I'll do now, I'll just initialize my variables as where a is equals to 10, okay, where b is equals to 20, and where c is equals to 30. Let's make it like 40, 50, and 60. Okay. Or else let's make it as 40, 20, and 10 first. Okay, we'll just check with this input what is the output. We'll check this, that if my first number is greater than from the second number, then we'll go inside. I'll check again. If my second number is greater than third number, then I'll check. I'll just print that, yeah, hey, console dot log. It's in the which order? Increasing, right? Increasing, right? Increasing, decreasing. Correct. Okay. Great. Who was that? Dipanshu, it's not increasing, it's decreasing order. Okay. Please pay attention. 14, 20, 10. It's decreasing, right? Dipanshu? Na? Okay. No problem. Okay. Otherwise, if this is false, if my A is greater than B is false, then what should I print here? Do I need to check anything here? Do I need to check anything here? What should I check here? Sir, in the question, in the input, okay. What should I check here? Do I need to check here or not first? Okay. Okay. So those people who are saying no, let's just print it console.log. For that sake, we are just printing here increasing. Just see what is the output. Let's just first run this. First run this. It's in the decreasing. That's correct. But we'll change the output as 60, 70, and 80. Okay. Let's check it. What would be the output now? It's in the increasing order. है Okay. Now we'll check the input as, we'll change the input as say 60, 70, and something as 20. Okay. Okay. It's still in the increasing, but it's false, right? It's not true. It's not true. So what should I check now? See, here I have checked. This else is for what? This case only. Now, so my A is greater than B. If this is false, then and then only my control would be execute this. That means if you land here, if you land in this line, that means your A is not greater than B. So you have to check whether, what should I check here? So A is less than B, I should not check, because anyway I am landing here. A is less than B, because A is less than B, then and then only I can land here, so I should not check that. What should I check here? Okay, people are saying B is less than C. Okay, let's just check this. Let's just check this. If my B is less than C, then I should print console.log increasing. That means, let's just check this now. Like 60 is greater than, so this line would get executed. Like, let's just debug this so that you can have more idea, Let's just debug this. Press debugger. Right now, everyone is with me. Everyone is with me. Everyone is with me right now. ठीक है, लेट्स चेक इट, लेट्स चेक इट नाउ. uh, 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 where is it, where is it? I closed the browser or what? Wait a second. I think there's something wrong here. I'll just press new tab. We'll press F12. Clear this. I'll increase the font so that you can see this. Let's press debugger. Okay, that's great. Okay, are you with me? Till now, are you with me? Then we'll take the questions. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. So right now A is 660, B is 70, C is 20. Okay. We'll check that whether A is greater than B or not. 60 greater than 70 or not. It will anyway give us false. False, right? That means it will land here. It will check like whether 70 is less than 20 or not. It's again giving me the false. So I need to handle the else part also here. I need to also handle the else part here. है ना? ठीक है? ठीक है ना? Okay. So what I'll do now, I'll change my code as console.log decreasing. Now let's run this and check it. Okay. So with the same input we are checking. This was false. In this case, this was also false because 70 is less than what 20. 70 is greater than 20. That means this is a false case. Okay. We land in this. So instead of decreasing, what should we write here? Instead of decreasing, what should we write here? Instead of decreasing, what should we write here? Neither decreasing nor decreasing. That's great. Not in the proper order. That's perfectly the proper answer that we have given. Na? So it's not in the not increasing nor decreasing. Okay. Let's copy this. We'll paste it here. Uh, in the console L and press debugger. Okay. Okay, this was anyway false, this was also false, will land into this, not increasing nor decreasing. Okay, in the output also you can see it's not increasing nor decreasing. Why? Because we have given the output in not in the proper order, because 60 is less than 70 but 70 is greater than 20, so it's not in the increasing, not in the nor in the decreasing mode. Okay, let's tweak my code once again, है ना? Let's tweak the code. I'll just have my input as 60, 60 and 60. Okay, okay, okay. Can we do that? Can we do that, Priyanshu? I'll come into that. I'll come into that now. Don't rush ahead. Okay. So right now my output is same. I'll just check now. A is greater than B is false. B is less than C. 60 is not less than 60. You know? So again, this print in the proper way, that it's not increasing nor in the decreasing. Let's check once again. I have my output as now 10, 20 and 30. Okay, can I check with this? Can I check with this? Okay, okay. So now I'll do my, I'll check my output there. Now this time 10 is greater than 20 or not? No. What is this? 20 is less than 30 or not? It's true. That means in the increasing mode. So am I having my output in the proper way? It's 10, 20, 30 is increasing. You know, it's right? So this is like we are testing our code. This is the way we are testing our code. Huh? Now let's check again. Let's test our code again. Now in this case, we'll just put our code as 60, 50 and 40. Okay. Let's check our code in this time. Okay. So we'll check our code like whether 60 is greater than 50 or not. It's true. Whether 50 is greater than 40 is not. It's true. That is why it's in the decreasing mode. It's as simple as that. We are having our output or not. Joseph, I think so. You have not no pay attention much because I have already given the input as 60, 60, 60. You know, let me show you once again. Yeah, Joseph, for you, show me the code. Okay, I'll show you the code. You can see the code. And for Joseph, only we will do in this. Joseph, you mean by this only, right? The same three inputs, Joseph. Ritik, we are using debugging because I wanted to show you the. So, what is debugging? Let me just first tell you. I think so. You don't know what is debugging, है ना? So, debugging is something. If I'll tell you that you have your bank account, this is pretty interesting. Huh? If you have your bank account, है ना, you want to check whether. So, yeah, right now your balance is like 2 lakhs. Okay, you have balance as your 2 lakhs. But during this financial year or during this month, like on the 1st May, what was your balance? Can you able to check this? Can you able to check this, Ritik? है ना? So at one particular point, what is the value of a variable or what is the value of particular thing? That is for something known as debugging. Debugging is for the developer purpose. And I wanted to show you the exact value of a at each point of time. That is why I used the debugger. If I press enter, it is in the debugger mode right now. And if you press F10, your code would be moved. And so this is how your compiler work. And just before few sessions, if you watch it, we were debugging our code. We were the compiler who was debugging our own code. So try to make this kind of habit. You will not have much bug in your code. This is how you can check your particular variable value at a time. Right now the c's value is 60, b's value is also 60. Okay, so this is something known as debugging. Joseph, are you clear with me now? And why we are no having this kind of output if in the same input 60, 60, 60. Okay, Joseph. Keshav, you can try this out input in our code because we have already seen this particular case. Yeah, Dipanshu will improve this particular thing. How to access this debugger in the Chrome? You can just write debugger as I have already written. Okay, you can paste this code in the Chrome. It will be in the debugger mode, just like this. Yeah, Deepak. Usually we say compiler, है ना? Compiler and interpreter both will do the same thing with just tweak and tricks, but you will not say that you I will interpret your code. You will always say in the coding term that you will compile your code, whether or not you are using compiler, your language is using compiler or not, है ना? You will say this. ये तो वही बात हो गई कि हम लोग टूथपेस्ट को कोलगेट बोलते हैं, है ना? दिस इज द सेम थिंग. ठीक है. I am just asking. I don't know. Okay, okay, that's great, Dipanshu. Okay, you can ask, sir. Can we put debugger in any number of line? Yeah, you can put it any line you want, Nilanjan. Okay, you can try it at your home also. Cool. Sir, in else part we are only concerning about B currency. What if A doesn't B? Okay. So, sir, who has asked this question? Uh, Amruta. Amruta, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? Okay. So she's asking us that we have checked two conditions whether A is greater than B and B is greater than C. Why have we haven't checked any of the condition like A is greater than B here, A is less than C here? See, if you want you can, but it's unnecessary. Why? Because see, in your first particular sentence or line, you are checking whether your A is greater than B or not. सो ये ट्रू होगा तो ये इसमें जाएगा, अगर ये फॉल्स है लाइक दिस इज अ फॉल्स देन इट विल एनीवे लैंड हियर. सो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय इट्स फॉल्स? A is greater than B, it's not true. That means A is less than B. So why you want to check again here? You got my point? है ना? ठीक है ना? So understand your code by this, like this way, and remove the repeated code. है ना? If you add this particular line here, if A is greater than if A is less than C here, in this particular case, then also your code would work, but it's not needed. We need else in a nested if about to write. It's not necessary. No, it's not necessary because it's already checking. Yes. Okay. Okay. So so this was one way of doing this. Okay. This was a one way to do our code and generate our output. But uh, okay, this was one of the way to which we can no generate our output. But this is not the optimized way. This is not optimized way. If anyone comes up with this kind of solution with me, I'll he will no get scolded by me at any point of time. I'll not tolerate this kind of code. Why? Because see, the what is the definition of good code? Good code is equals to number of if statements, the less number of if statements. This is my definition of good code. And if I say my definition, then this is also the definition for the everyone, like compiler, interpreter, or browser, or any other language. In any language, if your code is good, if your code is supposed to be good code, then you need to have less number of if conditions. Now this is just for your information, this is just for FYI. ठीक है, याद रहेगा सबको? Everyone will remember this, है ना? And one more thing that I need to tell you, this is very important. I cannot emphasize how important is this, because today also I was working with 3 to 4 years of experience guy, and he were doing this mistake. And I'll just tell you. So if I tell you that if your input is true, then you need to print hi, and if your input, like if your input is false, then you need to print get lost. Okay. Okay. So what this guy was doing, we had a variable such as no is valid, like it is valid or not, this is a variable's name, it will hold a value as true or false, so he was checking like this, that if is not valid, then like console.log get lost, else console.log hi. I will not write the entire console, here, but in the browser you need to write it. Okay. Okay. So is this code would work? This code is right. This code is entirely right. This code is not having any kind of problem. This code is not having any problem. So you need me to write in the browser if you are not getting my writing. Okay. Okay. See. Okay. Uh. Okay. We'll write this here. So we were having a variable called as is valid, and it will have the value as true for now, and we were about to check this, that if my is valid is false, and you need to print console.log get lost. Okay. But if my variable's value is true, so I need to print console.log okay, I need to print console.log hi. Okay. This was what I need to implement it. So what is wrong with this code? This code will run entirely, like it will run fine. Na? If my output is true, it will print high. If my input is false, then it will print get lost. Na? The code is not having any kind of problem, but what is the mistake in this particular code in terms of accuracy? No, no, not time taken, not hard coded. No. So I'll no in the person also, when I meet any kind of person, I have the sixth sense. Then I'll tell that this person is positive or not. See, I am a very optimistic and positive person. If you put me in any kind of no harsh conditions, I'll bet you that I'll try to cover that. I'll try to recover and I'll bounce back. That is for sure. So that kind of encouragement and that kind of motivation is inside me from the beginning of my life, from the childhood. है ना? So I whenever I meet any kind of person, I'll tell that person, or I'll realize that this person is positive or negative. There are two kind of persons, positive or negative. Okay. So this kind of code is negative for me. In the code also, if I look in the code, I can tell them that this code is positive or not. This code is negative. This code is completely negative code. Can I explain why? है ना? So he had checked here that if it's not valid, why you need to complicate your code? It is not readable. It is not user friendly. It's not a developer friendly code. You know, you need to reverse the conditions. Like you need to first write a positive scenario. Let's say if I tell you that if you have your input as true, if you need to print high, then here you need to just check if my is valid is true, then I need to print high. Otherwise, I need to print what? Get lost. It's simple to read, right? So I call this particular kind of code is positive code. It's just a sample. Like I just took the sample. Today, one of the guys in my company, in my colleague, he had done similar kind of mistake. So I rectified that by this. There were many kind of if conditions. We had also removed that. So this kind of coding standards also you have to implement in your code. It's not just about the output. That is what I meant to say. Clear? Hai? Fine. Till now enjoying. ठीक है? Okay. We'll create our first poll for today. Click on true if you are getting some kind of insights or not. Okay. Great. ठीक है. So I'll just now tell you by sharing my screen again that what was wrong with this code. Uh, which code? Yeah. What was wrong with this code? The first thing that I told you, that is having multiple if conditions. It is having multiple if conditions that is not needed. है ना? There are many if else's, like this is the bigger if else, this is the nested if else, this is we don't need that. So you need to learn one kind of operators, that is something called as logical operators. I think I have explained in your batch or not, I don't know, remember. There is something called as logical operator. Okay. So what do we mean by logical operator? There are two kind of logical operators. First is and, second is or. Okay, this is something known as and, this is known as or this is also called as two pipe symbols. You know, so if this is your first condition, you need to check that if this condition is true, you need to check the second condition. You know, just like this case, if this a is greater than b is true here, you need to check whether b is greater than c. This is known as the logical conditions. Okay, okay. So it's like called as, like if you have checked the first condition, you have to check Just after that, you have to check the second condition. Then you have to use this operator, second condition. If this both condition is true, then only you have to execute your code. ठीक है? ठीक है? So if you have to rectify this, and how you can do this, you need to just write this: if A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then print decreasing. That's we omit one if, है ना? We removed one if by using this. We combine these two if conditions, A greater than B and B greater than C, by AND operator. This both condition is, if this both condition is true, then and then only this code would be get executed. End is clear? End is clear? ठीक है? Similarly, similarly, in the OR operator, if you in the what does this OR operator will do? I'll just tell you. We'll see its use in the some other day. Okay? If your first condition is true, okay, this is your first condition. This is your second condition. You want to check whether this is true or this is true. If any one of this is true, you need to execute your code. So it means that like this: if the first condition is this, A greater than B or B greater than C, so you need to print something. So what it will get executed, how it will get executed is either A or B is true or B is greater than C. In both of them, like any one is true, then this block would get executed, है ना? But in case of AND, this both has to be true. But in case of OR, if this is true, then also it's fine. If this is true, then also it's fine. But in case of AND, this both has to be true. This is what the case. ठीक है? Okay. So how you can implement that? How you can implement that? See, you will can just implement by this, that whether your A is less than B and B is less than C. Okay? A is less than B and B is less than C. If this is true, then it's increasing. Otherwise, you need to check whether your A is greater than B or B and B is greater than C. That means it's in decreasing order. Otherwise, it's not a decreasing or in the decreasing. You need to, like, do you want me to run this code? Do you want me to run this code? Okay, ठीक है, चलो, we'll do that. So we'll do that. See what we meant, that suppose in the var A we have variable 20, the var B in the we have variable as 30, in the var C we have this as a 40. ठीक है? ठीक है? So I'll just tell you in Hindi language or in the English language that, sir, please tell me the order in this they are written. So 20, 30, you will just look at the input like 20, 30, 40. So 20 उससे ज्यादा है 30, 30, 40 is greater than 30. ठीक है? This is in the increasing order. So how you have checked that? That you have checked with A is greater than B, and so for this particular case we have checked whether, so we'll just tweak the input 40, 50 and 60. ठीक है? Now you will check it whether your A is greater than B and B is greater than C. Okay, so it's simple that your code is in what mode. If this condition is true, then what will be your output? Oh, 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 it's in decreasing. Are you sure? Are you sure? How many of you guys are telling me that it's in the decreasing mode? How it is in the decreasing mode? I guess so. Everyone is sleeping. Hariharan, how the condition is wrong here? Everyone was saying decreasing. Still, you are confused. Still, you are confused. I think so. See the code, na? What I have written. I'll just zoom for you. I'll just zoom it for you. Increasing or decreasing? Still, many of people are saying decreasing. Fix karo yaar. Okay. So confused क्यों हो रहे हो यार? Confuse मत हो. Don't confuse yourself. Just try to execute this code. है ना? Just try to execute your code in your mind. ठीक है? So we have this input 40 is greater than B. That means 40 is greater than 50. It's true or not? Not. So anyway, this would be done as false. I think so. You are still confused. You are still confused, guys. You are still confused. You want me to explain it again? You want me to explain it again? No? Okay. ठीक है चलो. So tell me what will be the output for this. What should I write then? What should I write here? Increasing or decreasing? I don't know the answer. I can also uh, bluff to you. Okay, decreasing. Okay, ठीक है चलो. जो जो ने डिक्रीजिंग बोला है और इंक्रीजिंग निकलेगा तो क्या करेंगे हम लोग? विल थ्रो पार्टी है ना? एंड I'll do like this. If A is less than B and B is less than C, ठीक है? What should I write here? What should I write here? Okay, we'll try to write increasing. Otherwise, what should I write here? प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पे हो ना मुझे पता चल गया. आप लोगों ने कोड देख लिया तो आउटपुट भी आपने देख लिया था. नॉट इंक्रीजिंग नॉर डिक्रीजिंग. ठीक है. How many of you guys are telling me that this is a proper code? How many of you guys are telling me that sir this is a proper code? Joseph is. Am I audible now? I am so sorry. I was having weak internet. Am I audible now? ठीक है. Okay. ठीक है. So जयेश अगर ये कोड चल गया तो आपको पार्टी देनी पड़ेगी पूरी क्लास को. आई यू एग्री विथ मी? ठीक है एवरीवन. ठीक है. ओके. चलो विल रन दैट विदाउट वेस्टिंग मच टाइम. इट्स इन द इंक्रीजिंग मोड. Dipanshu says how. Yes, Nilanjan, it's right. Uh, got it. ठीक है. You all agree with me now? है ना? So we'll take a 15 minutes break now because it's already 9:31. है ना? So it's right time to take break, right? है ना? So we saw two approaches to solve this particular problem, है ना? I no explained a pathetic approach, but in that also we learned something else, है ना? In this particular proper approach also we have learned something well, ठीक है? So we need to understand bad thing also in order to understand the better thing, ठीक है ना? ठीक है. Dipanshu will also try to implement the switch case, but here it's not possible to implement the switch case, because switch case कैसे implement कर सकते हैं हम लोग कि एक वेरिएबल होगा, उसकी वैल्यू से अगर आपको कुछ करना है, लाइक if I'll say that class teacher, so if your class teacher is your maths teacher, then he needs to take maths class. If it's a science teacher, he needs to take the science class, as I explained yesterday also, like in case of Modi's example, it's a VIP example, है ना? So if that particular case is get implemented, then we can implement the switch case, but here it's not possible to implement the switch case. ठीक है? Okay, till now I think everyone is fine. Haryana, I haven't actually said anything after that. ठीक है ना? Cool. So Jayesh, your part is pending, है ना? ठीक है? So we'll wait for that. So okay, yeah, it is a proper code. Behavior of past and post and pre operator in for loop. Vishal, I have covered the entire thing in the previous session, but I'll try to cover in the doubt session if you want. Is it okay with you, Vishal? You can ask me in the doubt session. I'll definitely cover that for you. है ना? ठीक है ना? Cool. Okay, yeah, Nilanjan, we are taking break only. है ना? So it's almost 9:33 now. So we'll consider it as 9:34, and we'll take 15 minutes break. So we'll back at 9:50. ठीक है? So take your dinner and come back. ठीक है? 9:50 would be fine with you, है ना? Go and take your dinner. Come fast. Okay? ठीक है. I am muting myself. Take your dinner. Come fast. Are we back, guys? Hello. Okay, have you take your dinner? Yes, I have already taken that. Yeah, I have already taken my dinner. Thank you. Okay, we'll wait for another 1 minute. Cool. Okay. So before the break, we have discussed a lot about. We have already solved two problems with utmost the possible ways. You know, I've already shown you the best way and what kind of coding structures that you need to keep in mind in order to be a better developer. So being a developer is not just about producing the output, but producing the output in the efficient and the stable way. You know? So I gave you the example about the money. You know? So in real world, you can also earn money by looting banks, by doing unethical things, but that is not morally right. You know? Society and your internal mind would not accept that. So there's a proper way to do that. In the same way in the code, there's a proper way to write that. It's not the just the way that not the just producing the output, है ना? So that is what that is you need to keep in mind. Okay, okay, yeah, and then it's a readable, like it's like understandable code. Okay, cool. So now I'll give you one another problem, that is finding the largest among the three numbers. Okay, let's say for an example, you have number 25, 15, 20. You have to tell me that which is the big number, है ना? That means here it's a 25. ठीक है? ठीक है? So now you have to think the logic how you need to implement that. ठीक है? One question: what is the create? What if we create an else if for else statement as well? Will it make our code more optimized? You are Dipansh, you are telling me that if we have used just that the way that we have implemented in the first time, you are telling me that no. So what do you want me to say? Like, what's your question? What if we create an else if for else statement? If we make our code more optimized. See, it's if possible, then try to avoid every if and else that you can have in your code. You know, try to avoid every if and else. If it's needed, then and then only you have to use it. But for now, you don't keep in mind that don't restrict yourself to use if and else. I just stayed out of my comfort zone because I cannot see that this kind of code, and that's why I explained each and everything why it's not proper, what kind of things that you need to keep in mind, how you should implement that, you know? That is why I explained you, because for now I can understand that you can code it any way you want. By making mistakes only you can learn, you know? If you make mistakes, then only I can rectify that, otherwise I cannot. That's as simple as that. Okay, so I'll give you 5 minutes to think upon it. Okay, I don't think so it would have like much problem to you now, because we have covered like many things, you know? So just think about it for 5 minutes. Okay, then I'll tell you how we'll do that. So it's 9:55. We'll back at 9:58. है ना? I'll try to explain at 9:58. Okay. So yes, you can use extra variable for now, Navneet. Set a temporary variable to negative infinity and star. Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, that would also work. Number four, number one. Okay. So almost everyone is saying the somewhat similar thing that if we think logically, then if you need to find the biggest number in between 25, 12, or 40, then you need to check, then you will. There are many approaches for this. For to be honest, so first you will check whether 25 is greater than this or not. If yes, then you will make this as a max. Then you will compare with this. If this is greater than with this, then you will make this max. Whichever the max is this, your answer would be 40. Okay, this is one kind of approach, but we'll use something this kind of approach in our code. That means in this, what we have used, okay, what we have used that particularly if you have three kind of variables x, y, and z. Okay, so you will check that if x is greater than or equals to y or not. If yes, then you will again check whether x is greater than or equals to z or not. That means the same way where you will check whether similarly the same case 25, 12, and 40. You will check 25 is greater than this or not. Yes. Now you will again check 25 is greater than this or not. Not right. Okay. But if 25 is suppose मान लो कि this is 10, then your 25 will be the your answer. So with minimalistic the case with the use of AND operator that we have already used previous case, you can achieve your answer by using this way. Okay. So whichever number is this, you will return x here. Else, you will again check for y. Now, similarly, you will again, if this will fail, then your obvious answer would be your z. Okay. By this also you can implement this. So do you want me to repeat or implement this, or you can do by your own? I'm okay with both approaches. Can we pass many arguments in the function? Yes, Nilanjan, you can pass as many as argument that you want. Okay. What does return do? Okay, okay, ठीक है. That's great that you have asked. No problem. ठीक है. So what does the return do? Well, I'll just explain you. See, people. Uh, for an example, that's the same way. है ना? I am the younger brother. Like I am the younger son in my entire family. है ना? I am the smallest in terms of age. है ना? But still, I usually order with my elder brother. है ना? So I'll tell my elder brother. I always take this example. Huh? So I tell my elder brother that go to stationery and give me the pencil. You know, give me the pencil. You know, I already taken this example earlier as well. Okay. So he will go. My brother will go to the stationery. You know, will ask for the pencil. If if stationery person will have some pencil with them in stock, they will give it to my brother, and my brother will give it to me. Okay, my brother will give it to me. So basically, my brother will act as a mediator in between me and this stationery. Okay, so I called my brother in order to get this pencil. This is my ultimate aim. Okay, similarly, similarly, in case of JavaScript or in case of coding, you will call a function. Okay, if you want something that, yeah, let's say this is your function. Function is what? Function is like it will do your job, or it will like set of logic. It will set of instructions that is written inside the function. है ना? You can reuse that. That is the all that we have already looked upon in the function. Yes or no? ठीक है? So you will call your function. Your function will do its job. That means in our case, in previous case, your function will go to the stationery, bring the pencil to you. ठीक है? So your function have some pencil. It has to return to you. ठीक है? So for that you need to write return. ठीक है? So for an example in the real term, we have used this as well. Like in case of this function, let me just show you if I have it in my slides. Uh, just a second. Mm, okay, so I don't have it right now, but we'll just write it again. That's all. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll do function, or else I'll just show you in the code. We have already written the code now. Will not waste much time in writing the code. Okay, we have already written the code in case of Mozilla. Okay, so uh, no, I don't have it. See, what I'll do, what I'll do now, that in the Mozilla I'll write the code. Okay, that would be the time efficient thing. Okay, so if you have a function, like function is, it will check like whether your code is valid or not, or whether input is valid or not. You know? So it will give as like the input as your age, where that we have already taken in the first example. Okay, so if your age is less than or equals to 18, you know, you have to return true. Okay, so this return will ultimately return true to whomever this function is valid is called. Let's say if I call this function is valid now with uh, 12, है ना? Now if I'll write else statement here as return false. Okay. If you debug this code, then also you can take your in charge of this. That whenever you will call this valid 12, it will replaced by true or false here. Whether your input is 12, then it would be replaced with false. If it's 18 or like 19, which is greater than 18, okay, it is greater than 18, huh? And your output would be true. Okay, so it would be replaced by this particular lines. If you want to check it, then you can hold this function in a variable. Let's say temp. Okay, so where temp equals to is valid 19. So whether your 19 is giving, like this function will give you the output as true or false, the temp would be having those particular output thing. If you want to check it, then you can print console.log temp. This is the basic thing. If you have some doubt, resolve it now only. Does return keyword returns strings or boolean value only. It can return anything. It can return anything. You can also return one as numeric. You can also return a string, right, like one. And also you can return it as a boolean, such as true. Also you can return the object also. You can return array also. What is array, what is object, we'll learn in future. You can return anything that you want. Okay, so for this case, if you want to check the value of temp, you can just run it, and you can see the temp or value is true. Okay, so your function has returned the values here. Then we can't, where we don't need to write console.log, we can use return. Yeah, you can use it perfectly fine. If the function is not void, then we have to return. See, in the JavaScript, see if you are from the C or some Java or C sharp world, then you have to specify some return type over that. We will not have some any return type here. If you want to return, if you don't want to return anything, you cannot. You can just omit this statement. That's all. For specific purpose, you don't have to write the return type as we used to do in other languages. For those who have not experience with any other language, that's okay. Okay. Okay, if the function is okay, so we have covered this. Any other thing that you want me to cover? Can function be called inside console without assigning it to any newly? assign variable. Vishal, we have already did na. We already did in our first code. Like we in the first code also I did this. Like is valid 19. I did this here. I didn't use over there. I didn't use temp, but I used temp here in order to understand that this entire function will return anything. It will hold by some variables. For this case, it will not hold by anything. It will just replaced by true. You know? So the console.log, it will give you the output as the same, that like true. Okay. And when we use return any special case, uh, okay. So that there is no special case here. To be honest, there is no special case. You can also you can also write console.log here and here. But if you don't want to write it two times, you can just write it one time and use return. That's all. What's the difference between return and console.log? Console.log, that means it's just used for printing. Return means this entire function will return you something. Okay? It will not get print. If I just do this, if I just do this, and also right now it will print, but it the console.log is something else. So in the inside of console.log, I can also write it something like this, that hey, answer is, and then I can append it with this true. Okay. So there is something, this kind of things I can do, this kind of tweaks and tricks I can do with console.log. I can do anything I want. But if I don't use console.log, then I should get the output as true only. I cannot tweak it with anything. That's the difference. Okay, just a second. Okay, you got it now. How do you manage with so much screen time? What do you do for eye health? Priyanshu, I just eat like a drink more and more water, and I do oil pulling as well. Those who don't know what is oil pulling, just search in go on Google. You'll find a video on like Fittiba also. They have made a video with oil pulling. It will help you with the your entire body, not for just for your eyes, you know. So this you can see that. We cannot join output in return. You can. Okay, you can also, like, so for that you have to do two things. So here, if you want to do the same way, like, hey, the answer is true, you can also do this here. But that in the same case, you have to append the string two times. Like, you have to write it in the false case as well. So you have to write your code two times. Why do you want to write it for two times? You know, if I clear this, I just run this, you can see the answer. You know, so why do you want to repeat your code? You know, that is why if you want to just print this, you can have it in like this, just for one line. Cool. How to take input from user? That is still pending, Arpit. Can't we use concate in return? We have used the concate. This is plus. Can you see this? And in the return also we have used plus just now. How have you used debugger? You can just put debugger at anywhere, like any point of time. Debugger like this. Okay, and you can press run. You can have your debugger here. Okay. I'm explaining this for five times. Huh? For the fifth time, how to use debugger. Please pay attention, guys. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So we were at this point of problem. This particular problem, that the largest among the three numbers. Do you want me to explain, or you do want me to, run in the Mozilla or in the Chrome and explain you in detail, or can you, like, would you like to do from your own? No need to use anywhere. We can use, if you use debugger, right? Yeah. If you want to use then only you can use debugger, Nana. Okay. Okay, Nilanjan, I'll explain it. Okay, Nilanjan, ठीक है, I'll explain that for you. ठीक है, don't worry. Anyone else apart from Nilanjan wants me to explain this? Okay, Nayan, I'll explain that. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, don't worry. Okay, so So in this particular case, we already know, right? See, we have three numbers: 10, 20, 40. है ना? ठीक है? Apart from like from this, you want to find the max number. So you need to check whether 10 is greater than 20 and 10 is greater than 40 or equals to. If it's true, then 10 is the max number. But in this case, 10 is not. Okay. Okay. Similarly, you have to check for B, like for 20, whether 20 is greater than 10 or equals to 10 and 20 is greater than equals to 40. If it's true, then 10 is max, then 20 is max. We have to check for 40 as well. If 40 is greater than or equals to 10 and 40 is greater than equals to 40 or not. Okay. Okay. Sorry, is equals to 20 or not. Okay. If it's true, then 40 is your max number. This is what we mean by the logic. This is clear. This is clear. Yeah. Yes. Third is not needed, but I'll do that. Okay. This is clear, na? Okay. 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 So let's let's code this. Okay. Okay. Remove this and okay. So we'll check. We'll first assign a equals to 40, b equals to 60, and c is equals to, or else we can also, for now we'll just do this where b equals to uh, 20 and where c is equals to 60. Okay. Okay. Just a second, guys. For just a minute, I'm just getting a call. Just a second. Okay, I'm audible now. Okay. So I was telling you that if A is 40, B is 20, C is 60, right? So now we'll check whether my A is greater than or equals to B, you know, and my A is greater than or equals to C. That's the same case where that we did earlier. You know, we checked that first is greater than second and third or not. If yes, then A is max. That's the same way we will use console.log my A, or I'll do A is the maximum. Okay, I can do something like this. Then I'll something check like this with the else if. You know, I'll check whether my B is greater than or equals to A and my B is greater than or equals to C. If it's true, then I can assure that console.log my B is the maximum. Okay. Now think about it that this if this is false. That means number A is not greater than B and C. If this is false, that means number B is not greater than A and greater than C. That means C is maximum. That will anyway means that C is maximum. How many of you are agree with me? Don't we make else for all are equal? Okay, I'll come into that. Yeah, you can use return. If you want to use return, then it needs to be bind in the function. You have to make a function for that. Okay, otherwise it will not work. Okay. Okay, now if I try to run this, then see, answer is 60 is maximum. That's correct. That is correct, you know. Let's tweak this. Let's make it 40, 40, and 40. One of you guys have just you know asked me about this. Yeah, Sasen Kumar is also asking the same, you know. Okay, you want, like, you mean by this only, right, people? Sasen. Okay, let's run this. So if everything is equal, then the number is maximum only, you know. Between of all these three, the number are equal. So out of this, 40 is maximum. That's all. Cool. Okay. If it's running fine, right? Now check it with 40, 0, and 1, or 60. Okay. So let's just check this. 60 is again, 60 is maximum. Okay. It's running perfectly fine. Okay. So with this also you can implement this. You know. Okay, you can also bind it inside the function and make it return, you know. The same way that here also I think so they have made a function. The best way is to made a function, all right, people. So for in this particular case, I think so, yeah, they have made a function, you know. So you can do something like this: make a function, pass the arguments, and make use of the return, you know, and print with the help of return. Okay. Likit, you can also write debug anywhere and you can debug your code. That's all. Okay. Try to debug your code as well with every program, whether or not you are understanding or not. You know, if you are perfectly, confident, then and then only you don't have to use the debugger. But otherwise, make a habit to use debugger. If you know, I'll just tell you that inside of this, make a habit like this. It will be much more helpful in when we are learning DSA. Okay. If you write this kind of program, don't just directly run it. You know, first check it inside your mind whether this will execute perfectly or not. You know, debug it from your own, just in just the same way that we did earlier. You know, we used to do earlier. You know, we declare a variable, we create a box, we assign the value, then we check this if it's true or not. If it's true, then we'll go inside this, we'll print this actually in the screen. You know, then again we'll check with this. If it's true, then we'll print this inside the screen. We'll not check with this. You know, so actually how the your code will executed, just no make a habit to make run your code in paper also. So write the output in paper and check after clicking on this run. What the people are making mistake is, they are just writing the code something, and they are just they are just clicking on run. If their code is not running perfectly, they will update their code and they'll again click on run. So this is not a proper way. If you click on this run, you should be highly confident that your code would run. Okay. Why is plus before? What do you mean by that? We are concatenating the two things, like type quotient that we already seen, conversion. Here we are converting number into the string. Okay, that we already looked in the beginning of the lecture. Okay na? Okay, any doubt till now? Any problems till now? Okay, any particular doubt that you have till this point of time in the lecture or in the course, please ask it. Debugger will not return anything like it. Debugger is just for debugging your code. It will not a part of code. ठीक है लिखित? Will it tell the errors? No, it will not tell the errors. Your console will tell the errors. We'll see what is the how to get friendly with the errors. ठीक है? Am I okay with this point? ठीक है ना, crystal clear. Functionality of debugger. I'm not sure like how, like why you are guys are confusing with the term debugger. Tapasvi, uh, just tell me one thing. What is inside your mind with the functionality of debugger? I'll just clear it out right now. No worries. I have not understood about the debugger. Okay, click it. Okay, ठीक है. Nilanjan says, sir, as we till now we are writing string in one line. How to write the string in multi-line? Okay, I'll tell you. I'll just tell this in the future sessions, Nilanjan. But for now, for those who are not understanding and those who are not familiar with the debugger, let me just share my screen. ठीक है. Okay. I hope you guys are seeing my screen. Yes. Okay. So for now, Likhit and one another guy, I forgot his name, so sorry about it. So this is your code, है ना? ठीक है. So if I say troubleshoot or if I say check your code, how will you check your code? That is, if it will run fine or not. How will you check your code from starting to end? But how will you check your code? Like if I'll say that tell me this condition is true or not, what will you do? You will just compare na, the 60 is greater than 0 or not, then 60 is greater than 1 or not. If it's true, then it will print this, otherwise not. Correct? है ना? You will do like something like this. So same way, if I click in on this run, then the same way someone will also check this for us, the same way that we did manually, है ना? ठीक है. So so debugging is something where your code is actually running, है ना? So if your code is running like this, then you have to check whether what is wrong with this particular case, or what is the value inside this, or what is the value of a when your code is running this fifth line, what is the value of a when your code is running the line 8th. Okay, so this kind of thing that you need to check, if you need to check at the spot, like at the spontaneous, if you want to check, suppose if you are running a loop for 10 times, so you want to check the value of the variable I at fifth looping, है ना, at the fifth traversal, then you need to, let's just place a debugger, then you need to check every time what is the value of I, updated value of I, each and every time. That is something known as debugger, है ना? So at particular point, if you want to check it, then you have to just write debugger. So JavaScript, what JavaScript will do inside it, what this browser will do, if you run it, it will run in the debugger mode, है ना? So right now your process is not complete. So if you hover this inside this a, you can check the value of a right now. What should be the value of a right now, where a equals to 60, so a will obviously be 60, right? है ना? So you can compare easily from this, that if you just need to check this condition is true or not, you know, so you have to just hover in this, like if you just need to select this and hover. If you do it in the Chrome, then you need to like you can get the output of this as well, you know, do it in the Chrome. Okay, you can get the output of this. If you just move from line number 4 to 5, you can just press F10. You need to press F10. Okay, see, I'm pressing F10 and it's moving my code. I'm pressing F10 and it's moving my code. Okay, so this is why the debugger is used, to know the exact error of your code, to know the exact mistake of your code by debugging your code. Okay, so that how value changes. Look at yesterday, I think so. We have seen the loops, right? In that also, I explained about the how the this debugger will work in the loop, inside the loop. Please watch the session, you know, if you haven't, because if I will repeat multiple things repeated time, it will just waste of the time for everyone else, है ना? ठीक है, I'll just show you now, but I'll not show you in the future for everyone, है ना? So I'll just do this, where let equals to, or I'll do where I equals to 0. This is a for loop. This is my initialization, as I told you earlier, है ना? It will just revise our concept of for loop, है ना? We'll just do that for quickly. I is less than or equals to 5, I'm just running my loop for 6 time or just 5 time, you know. I'll do the I plus plus. This is the increment or decrement part, this is the condition part, and this is the initialization part. These are the main building blocks of any loop, any loop, you know. We have seen this earlier. Am I yes, yes, no, am I right or not? Everyone remembers this, you know. Cool, okay. So here I will just print I, okay, okay. I'll just run it. uh, Wait, refresh the page. I'll click on run. Okay, you can see the output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, like it. But what I mean to say, if you just place debugger inside this, okay, now if you run it, you can see the ice value right now. It's 0. You know, it will print 0, then it will increment, then it will again compare in the condition. Okay, it will again print the value of I, that is be 1 now. Okay, so same way, the same way. See, here it is printing 0, 1 now. You know, if I again click on F10, 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 F10 till my loop will get over. Okay, you can see this values. Okay, so at the point, if you want to check the value of any variable, you can use this. This is the lifesaver of yours till the end of your life if you are working with JavaScript or any other language. Okay, if you are a coder, then debugging skill, that is must. If you don't know any concept, that is fine, but if you don't know debugging, you are in big trouble. Okay, now understood now. Okay, ठीक है, ठीक है. So ask me some questions, है ना. Ask me this kind of questions. Those would clear your doubts. I would be much more happy to clear your doubts. When I am defining function, putting parameters, let's say should I initiate the PQR with let before the function? It will depend, Vaibhav. We'll learn in detail what is function. We have not covered the entire thing with the function. Yeah, F10T key is not working for me to pass on the steps. Which browser and which operating system you are using? I hope it would work in every system. F10 should work. No, F10 should work now. Try this if Nishant is saying, but I have not seen this kind of things. F10 should work, Hariharan. If not, then no, just refresh your browser and try again. You know, if you have written the debugger, then just click on F10. Otherwise, you can also do something like this. If you are in Chrome, then let me show in the Chrome only. To okay, this is a debugger. If you cannot move forward with F10, then there is a key here. This, okay, not this. This will entirely stop your execution. Okay, screen was not shared. So sorry. Am I clear? Am I visible now? Am I visible now? Okay, okay. So I was explaining that he was trying on the Chrome. So what I did, if you run this in the debugger mode, if you cannot move ahead with the F10 just like this, you can just press on this icon. This, can you see this icon? Okay, you can also press on this icon so that you can move forward. Now, if I you press on this, then you can move forward with this. Okay, okay. Are you able to do that to initiate a variable? What we should do? Use let or let. That's a good question. Try to use let if you can, you know. and use where only when it's needed, but otherwise just use let for every other task. ठीक है. ठीक है. And use const also. Yeah, why I have explained. If you have remember the lecture with the let where and const, what is the difference between let where and const? What is the difference between let where and const? Am I audible? Hello. Const value cannot be changed, right? Yeah. So when you have some such kind of requirement or a variable which will not get changed, which you don't want to reassign it, such as a person's salary. Okay, so for those kind of things, a person's name, the name cannot be updated much more often, right? If once it's fixed, it's fixed. Okay, so on that, this kind of things you can use with const. With the lat, if you want to redeclare a variable, or if you want to restrict a variable to the specific scope, then you can use let. And if you want to use your variable globally anywhere in your program, then you can use where. Okay, read more about it, watch recording again. I cannot emphasize how important is this kind of concepts. That would definitely be asked in your question, in your interview, definitely. Updating a value in the loop always take place at the end. No, it's not needed. It can be anywhere you want. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. So now we'll move further. We will move forward now with this question. That is the grading question. Okay, so if your marks is 90 or above, if your marks is 90 or above, your grade is A. If your marks is between 80 and 89, your grade is B. If your marks is between 60 and 79, your grade should be C. If your marks is between this, then D, and otherwise F. You want to implement this kind of functionality. ठीक है. ठीक है. Okay. Yes, we can use here switch as well. We can use if else as well. Anything you want. Nested if else. हाँ. ठीक है. Do like you can use whatever you want here. That's not an issue. I'm giving you 5 minutes to think upon it. Okay, we'll come back at 9:40. Sorry, 10:42. Okay, that's exactly 5 minutes I'm giving you. Okay, think about it. Think about the logic. What is the best scenario if you use switch or if you use if else? How will you do if in case of if else? How will you do in case of switch? Remember the syntax of switch, you know, so that you can revise your concept as well. Okay, that would be great. Yeah, you can also use the function, but inside the function you have to use something na Hariharan. You have to use inside the function the switch or else if. Okay, so you can use that as well. Okay. Okay, so I'm giving you 5 minutes. We'll come back at 9:42. 10:42. Okay. Priyanshu, I have given the time to think for this problem. I think you were not there. Yeah, so I have given the time to think about this problem. Okay, so I'll explain now how we can implement that. So using switch case also you can implement that, you know, and using if else also you can implement that, but I would prefer if else would be better, because inside the switch case you cannot compare the variables such as uh, how, like, switch case is, if you have seen the switch case syntax and see in the switch case there is a variable. In the previous case we had a variable called as designation, है ना? There is something called as a variable here. We'll check the variable's value here, है ना? If the case in the variable's value, suppose in the previous case it was a VIP, then we had printed log Modi here, right? So here you cannot do the logical operation such as the variable is having greater than 80 or less than 80. This would not be the best practice to do. ठीक है? ठीक है? But if instead of this, ठीक है, if you do, like, if your variables value such as your variable values marks, ठीक है, so your marks greater than 80, or your marks is greater than 50 or something like this, है ना, condition based, so you can print something like this, you can implement by this approach. ठीक है? ठीक है? So let's come on the problem. ठीक है? So it was the basically a thing which is given in the question that, okay, I'm sharing my screen now and I'll explain what should we do in this. Okay? Okay, my screen is visible to everyone, है ना? Cool. ठीक है. So see here, this is something called as a marks, है ना? This is your output that you need to print. Okay? So what I'll do, if your marks is greater than 90, here it is written as 90 and above. Okay? So it's greater than or equals to 90, then your grade is A. Okay? You need to console it, you need to return it, do whatever you want. Okay? If your marks is greater than 80, but if it's less than 89, okay, in between of this particular things, they need to print your grade is B. But the thing is, what should I write here? And or? है ना? What should I write here? And or? Huh? And, right? Okay. ठीक है. So we'll do and as you said. ठीक है. If my marks is greater than 80 and if my marks is less than 89, then I should print this. Similarly, for 60 and 79, it's C. Similarly, for 33 and 59, it's D. And for else case, it's F. Okay? Okay? So this is the case. So you need to, I explained this in English, the logic. You need to convert it into the code. Can you guys able to do this? Or you want me to explain this? I can, I will be happy to do that if you, anybody from you want. Like, I already explained this, but I do you want me to code or not? I'm asking that. Okay. Okay. So try to do this. Okay. Please code. Rupesh says please code. Okay. 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 Fine. So I'll explain and I'll code now. Okay. Don't worry. Concept is clear, that's fine. Okay. So I will open the Mozilla, and I'll just initialize this as my marks is equals to 80. You know? Now we'll go with the approach only. Let's say if my marks is greater than 90, let's say my marks is greater than or equals to 90, then what? You need to console dot log your grade is A. ठीक है ना? ठीक है? Clear? Else if you need to check whether your marks is greater than or equals to what? 80, and your marks is less than or equals to what? 89. Okay, in this particular case you need to print the console dot log your grade is B. Okay, else if you need to print for 60 and 79, I'll just copy this, change the value in grade, it's 60 and it's 79. Similarly for 33 and 59, you know. And in case of everything is failed, your grade is F. We need to change the grade as well, I know that. C, D, and F. I think so we have missed the E case, right? Let's just check it. A, B, C, D. E is not there, directly the F. Okay, fine. Okay, 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 okay. So let's run this with the input 80. Okay, so logically, what should it print? E, right? So see here, you can see that grade is B. It's written, right? Try for your if your marks is 15. Okay, so it should print F, है ना? ठीक है, cool, fine, ठीक है, okay, okay, ठीक है. So please send the code in the chat section. Okay, fine. ठीक है. Till now, all okay. We are just writing what we are thinking. That's all. That's known as coding. That's bit easy if you can think. है ना? Okay. ठीक है. So this was their code, but our code was pretty much different from this. Our code is better from this. है ना? So you can also go through this. I think so. They have used pretty much. They have used a similar thing. They have used a similar thing. Okay. So now we have another question, which is uh, to check what is the minimum lectures to achieve 75 percentage. Okay. I will tell the logic to you, and I'll rest everything is up to you. You know, I'll try to understand the logic to you because we have only 10 minutes left now. We'll try to cover this if we can, but I'll try to explain the logic, and it's not bit tough, because we have covered already like 4 or 5 problems, and we are already clear with the logics. So if you want, you can also do this at your own, like do it yourself, or else I'll explain this right now, and we'll also cover this, whichever way is better to you, just the same way that we did in the earlier problems. Okay, is it okay with you all? ठीक है ना? Okay, so In the problem, uh, we have two inputs. First is m and second is n. Okay? M, that means the number of lectures that is already happened, and n means the number of lectures that is attended. Suppose you have 10 lectures and you have attended the 8 lectures, you know, so your attendance would be what, 80 percentage, you know. And suppose if your total lectures are happened are 10, you have attended only 5 lectures, that means your attendance is what, 50 percentage. Okay, which is less than 75 percentage. So if you want to cover this, like if you want to have in the 75 percentage criteria, how many lectures should you attend, you know? That is what the question is. Okay, so your task is to find the number of lectures which needs to be attended to achieve 75% attendance. For an example, your total lectures are 7 and you have attended 6 lectures, so your attendance are anyway greater than 75. Okay, so your output, that means your number of lectures to attend to meet the 75% attendance is 0, because you have already attended many lectures, you have just missed one lecture. Am I clear with the point? What is the question? ठीक है, ठीक है. So this m and n would be given to you, है ना, and you need to find how many lectures should I attend. So in the approach there are two steps, है ना, there are two steps. First you need to find to find the 75 percentage of this 10, that would be your base, है ना, ठीक है. उससे ही आप कंपेयर करोगे ना. फर्स्ट यू नीड टू फाइंड 75 percentage of 10, like total number of lectures are 10, then you need to find 75 percentage of that. ठीक है. And if your, yeah, 77.5, yes, if your total attendant lectures are what, somewhat 5, so you need to compare this 5 to 7.5, which is 75 percentage of 10. Let me share my screen and explain to you in detail, है ना, so that you can understand. So your question says that you will be given with the two numbers, like m is 10, that is total number of lectures, total number of lectures, and n is 5, that means your attended lectures. Okay, so first and foremost you need to check the 75 percentage of total lectures. Okay, so 75 percentage of 10, then you need to decide, है ना? Then and then only you can perform the criteria of comparison. Yes, no, yes, है ना? Okay, now what I'll do now, uh, I'll take this and I'll place this here. I'm sharing my screen, don't worry. Okay, I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, okay. So first you need to find the 75 percentage of your total lectures, whether it's no your 75 percentage of your total lectures, that will be your this particular thing, है ना? Then you need to compare that, that means first 75 percentage of 10, that would be 7.5. Okay, so if your attended lectures are more than this, then you are already safe. If your attended lectures are, let's say, 8, है ना, and your required attendance is 7.5, then you are safe ना, correct, है ना, ठीक है. So you need not to do anything in this particular case, whether your attended lectures are greater than what is required, then you need not to do anything, your output would be anyway 0. Agree with me, है ना? Otherwise if it's not, then there is a formula is given. Okay, there is formula is given here, that means you need to put the values in this particular formula and you need to get your answer. If it's not, then you need to do this particular thing. I'm not sure you can see this as or not. You need to do this ceiling of 0.75 into m minus n divided by 0.25. You know what is ceiling? I'll tell you. So ceiling means, so suppose this is your room, है ना? This is your room. What is your ceiling here? This is your ceiling. This particular part is your ceiling, है ना? है ना? So in the numbers also, uh, if you have a number of like 2.5, है ना? If you find the ceiling of this number, then you will get what? 3, right? If you want to find a ceiling with 2.1, you will get what? 3, right? Because it's ceiling number. है ना? If you want to check this, then you can do something like this. In the JavaScript, that is particular library called as math. है ना? So you just need to go in the browser, just check with the math dot sale, and here you can put any value. Suppose 2.1 I took, right 2.1. Let's just clear this and just run this. You can see the output as 3, है ना? You can also check with the output of 2.9. You can run this again. You can check the value as 3. ठीक है? Clear है? Ceiling is what? है ना? Okay. So this is okay. I'll explain once again. So ceiling is what? The maximum number of your value. So if you put the 2.1 here, it will round off to the maximum value of 2.1, that will be 3, because it's ceiling. If you put 2.9 also, then it's also is rounding off to the next biggest integer, that will be 3. Okay, as simple as that, है ना? Okay. Similarly, it will do in our case as well. It will do in our case as well. Huh. So just try to read this code. Na? You need to first the 75 percentage attendance of m. That means if we want to find the maximum number like 75 percentage of your total attendance, that means your total attendance is, let's say, 10. है ना? So if you want to find 75 percentage of 10, that means you need to do what? 10 into 75 divided by 100. You will do this. Yes, Niranjan, that is rounding off. है ना? You will do this, na? That means ultimately this 75 divided by 100 would be called as what? 0.75. Correct? है ना? That is what something written here. And then 10 is what? Total lectures. That means m. That means 0.75 into m. Clear है? ठीक है? You need to find the 75 percentage of this. है ना? And you need to compare it with your total attended lectures, that is n. That means if your total attended lectures here are let's say 5. ठीक है? So is whether phi is greater than 75 percentage of 10, that means 7.5 or not. You need to check that. If not, then that means yes or not. Are you able to getting me? Are you with me, guys? है ना? You need to check that. ठीक है? If you are in safe hand, then you need to return your answer as 0. That means you don't need to do anything. But in this particular case, whether your phi is greater than 7.5 is not true, that means you need to execute this formula. This formula is given in your particular question. Okay, this formula is nothing but your math dot scaling function. Inside of this, you need to check the 0.75. That means your 75 percentage of your m, है ना? That is your particular the given number of lectures minus n. That means your attended lectures, है ना? N is your attended lectures divided by 0.25. ठीक है? This is your particular formula that you need to apply. You need to replace the value of m and n. You will get your answer. ठीक है? In particular case, what is the use of the formula is given? You will find the required days or required lectures to attend and to achieve the 75 percentage of attendance. Okay. So if you are in safe hand, then you need to return 0. Otherwise you need to return your required lectures. To next integer number, yes, because if you have seen in the college also, if your attendance is something called as 74.80, then they will round off to 75. They will not round off to 74. That is why we have used math.seal. है ना? Everyone is clear with me? है ना? So I hope you will try this. You will try this because I have explained pretty much logic today. ठीक है? Cool. So we'll meet tomorrow at 10 a.m. Although we have no left with one problem today, which is quadratic equation. Because this is like a complex question, I'll explain you tomorrow. You will need my help to understand this. Okay? Yeah. Please ask Arpit. Tomorrow is in morning. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. Niranjan. Yes, it's 10 to 1 for tomorrow. Okay? So tomorrow we'll meet at 10 a.m. 10 to 1 will be the class. I'll highly prefer to be prepared and ask as many doubt you that you want to any of the TAs, to me, or inside your group as well. You know, be prepared and learn more and more things. Try to explore. Don't try to procrastinate in the things, because this is your base. This is your logic base. If you understand this better, you will not face any difficulties in DSS. This would be that would be your like core part when you attend any kind of interview. It would be your first or second class. Okay. So on that note, we will complete this class for now, and we'll meet tomorrow at 10 a.m. है ना? First, I'll understand, like I'll explain this question to you tomorrow, and we'll start with the second thing. I have tried Hacker Earth and Hacker Rank, but I'm not able to solve problems. Uh, Arpit, you do need to try like those advanced problem as of now, because we haven't touched any of the advanced topic like arrays, what is objects, you know, those kind of things. I haven't teach you. Okay, so don't worry about this. We will try to gradually and slowly. We will try to get this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for everyone. Thanks for attending thanks for your time and attending the lecture. Okay. Please participate in the poll if you enjoyed, if you have learned something new, you know, and if you want to cover anything from my side, then let me know. We'll already that yeah that these classes are pretty easy, but for the non-tech people, it would be much more like interesting for them. Okay. Okay. So on that note, we'll complete the class of today, and we'll meet tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay. Okay. Goodbye. Good night.